Hello and good morning and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Chasing 70 Degrees. My name is Travis, and in this video tutorial, we're going to be taking a look at some rear seat releases for a Ford F150, typically a 2015 or later model. So I was installing some seat covers in the back of my F150, and I needed to bring the back seat down in order to do that. And that's when I learned the painful lesson that there really is no easy way to get that back seat to fold down for you. I had to get in there with a wrench, which you're actually going to see, in order to get that seat down. And that's when I started to do some research and wanted to know a little bit more about some more efficient ways in order to get that rear seat release to basically declasp so that I can get the seat to fold down. And so during the research, I found that there's a number of choices from a number of different companies with respect to that rear seat release. And we're going to be taking a look at Sporthfish, and I'm going to pull you in for a close-up of each of these, and I'm going to give you sort of my take on the craftsmanship, the sturdiness, and the price difference that exists between these, because it is substantial. So we've got a Sporthfish model here. I've got the Seven Sparta rear seat release kit, and then we've got the BuiltRight Industries kit. Now you'll notice that the BuiltRight box is much bigger than these other two boxes. It's made in the US. These two are both made in China, and the price on this BuiltRight Industries rear seat release was almost double, in some cases more than double, these other units. And during one of the videos that I was watching for the BuiltRight Industries, they had mentioned that it's an anodized aluminum sort of mechanism that they put around the latch that you can then pull with the strap. However, when I got mine and I looked at mine, it does not look anything like anodized aluminum. It actually looks like plastic. So we're going to take a close-up look at this, and we're going to see what these three guys look like, and then we're going to jump into the back of the Ford F150, and I'm actually going to be installing the Seven Sparta, because for me, in terms of the durability, the thickness of the metal, the length of the strap, as well as the build of the latch, I think that the Seven Sparta is superior to both the BuiltRight Industries and the Sportfish. So again, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. I bought all three of these on my own because, again, I was curious. I wanted to see what all the hype was about the BuiltRight Industries, and then wanted to compare it against two other rear seat releases. So let's go ahead, let's dive in and take a close-up and see what each of these looks like. All right, so here we are for a close-up on the three rear seat releases. So this is the Sportfish. And again, made in China, and this was literally all that was in the box, was the strap tied to sort of the latch assembly that's going to go onto the back of the seat. And as you can see, this is definitely aluminum, right? Or this is definitely made of some kind of a metal material. And if I was to go ahead and untie this strap here, it would have been nice had they sort of attached that and had that pre-attached. But one thing, and I'm not sure you're going to be able to see this or not in the video, and you can, I mean, this bends really flimsy metal, right? I mean, it's just not thick at all. The strap is a decent distance, and again, this appears to be some kind of metal. Can't tell you if it's aluminum or what it is, but there were no instructions in the box. It literally came, like I said, I just opened it today. And so this is the Sportfish, and I'm just not a fan of it just because of how flimsy this is. I don't want to say it's like, you know, tinfoil, but it's metal, but it's definitely super, super thin. And so this is one that I'll give away, right? If you're interested in the Sportfish here, I will box it up and I will ship it to you, and you can have that if that'll work for you. The next one we're going to take a look at is the Seven Sparta rear seat release. Now, this came in the box. It came with a really nice set of instructions, even though, you know, if you're at this juncture of trying to figure out how to get the rear seat release in there, you probably have a pretty good idea as to how this is going to go down. But they give you a really nice set of instructions, sort of step-by-step as to how you're going to do this. And they even talk about the Torx T30 and a 10 to 14 millimeter wrench are the suggested tools that you should be using. So I really appreciated this. Again, I already knew that it was going to be a Torx T30 and that I'd need a wrench to get back in there in order to drop the seat down. But definitely a great set of instructions here with the Seven Sparta, and it only gets more impressive from there. This is definitely metal, and it is heavy. The latch component that they have here is definitely heavy, and this part of the latch is going to go around the latch release on the back of the seat. And the strap is a pretty nice length, right? And I was looking for something that was going to be a nice length. If I were to measure this out and just kind of guess, give you a rough estimate here, it's about 7 inches long. I don't know if you can see that or not. Strap is about 7 inches long, and the strap is actually longer than the BuiltRight Industries strap. So, but we'll get to that in a second here. So let's pull out the Seven Sparta latch release kit here, and this is definitely sturdy. This is much thicker than the Sportfish model, and it's actually thicker and sturdier than the BuiltRight Industries model. And so that's the Seven Sparta. So I'll leave this here. And again, the thing that you notice immediately is this latch assembly right here. I mean, this thing is definitely heavy duty, right? All right, so now let's take a look at the BuiltRight Industries. Now, super big box, especially compared to, if I was to pull the boxes out here and give you a close-up, right? Definitely you get a much larger box here, and so I was expecting, something that was gonna be super heavy duty. And in the kit, and I already pulled this out of the plastic, you get a nice little thank you for supporting their business, and there was a set of instructions that was in here. Let me go ahead and get those out of here. And you get a little BuiltRight Industries sticker. You get a thank you for your support. But I apologize. The instructions that they talk about, they just kind of give you this quick instruction tab here, which really, again, if you're already at the point where you're going to look for something like this, you probably know exactly what's going on. And they tell you the same thing, right? Torques, the T30 torque screw, that's what you're going to need to get it out of there. So a nice little, consumer ad there. Or I should say a nice little add-on there. And so now let's talk about, let me get the plastic out of here. So now let's talk about the BuiltRight Industries. So this is definitely sturdier than the Sportfish, but I just feel like the Seven Sparta is much sturdier, right? It just seems more stiff than the BuiltRight Industries. And maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing, right? Because maybe we need a little give on this when we install it. I don't think we're going to, but the one thing that I did notice, at least in the kit that I ordered, the video I watched talked about this being anodized aluminum. And I can tell you right now that it's plastic. It's gotta be plastic because it does not feel like metal at all, or aluminum or anything close to a metal, right? It feels like plastic. It's light. I mean, it's super, super light, like plastic. And then we've got the strap. And so if we were to lay these down side by side here, and I'll do my best to, give you an apples to apples, and it's pretty clear to see that the Seven Sparta strap is a little bit longer, and it looks like it's going to be about an inch longer, about a half inch longer, right? So yeah, it's about 7 inches on the Seven Sparta, and the BuiltRight is right around 6.5. So the strap on the Seven Sparta is even a little bit longer. And I like that. I like the fact that this is definitely, like I said, as soon as you take this out of the box, you're gonna feel it, that this is heavy, right? This is heavy duty. This, the BuiltRight, not so much. It really felt, like I said, this has gotta be some kind of plastic. It's not metal of any kind. So, BuiltRight Industries, the mounting kit is definitely better than the Sportfish, but it is just not as thick or as sturdy as the Seven Sparta. And so that's why I decided to go with the Seven Sparta. Again, I don't imagine that I'm putting, 5,000 pounds of torque on this when I'm trying to pull the seat down. However, for my money, the BuiltRight Industries was more than double the price, I believe, of the Seven Sparta at the time I bought it. I'm gonna have a little, in the video when you're watching this, I'm gonna put the price for each of these in little caption box down below. And again, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. I have no skin in the game here other than I just was really curious about this because you saw a lot of people with a lot of comments about you know, how the BuiltRight Industries was just way more expensive than the others, and for what you're getting, is that really worth it? And I've got to side with those people. Again, nothing against BuiltRight Industries. I mean, this is, obviously it's a nice kit, but there's going to be some giveaways here because lo and behold, I accidentally ordered 2 Seven Sparta kits. So I've got a BuiltRight Industries kit, I've got an unopened Seven Sparta kit, and then I've got this Sportfish kit. So if you've got a Ford F150 and you're looking for a rear seat release strap, I've got 3 of them right here if you would like, and we're going to do it like this. First come, first serve. You drop a comment down below as to which one of those 3 that you would like, and I will seal it back up and drop it in the mail to you because I'm going to be installing the Seven Sparta model. So hopefully that gives you a really good idea as to the similarities and the differences between the kits. And so now let's go ahead, let's jump into the rear seat of the Ford F150, where I'm going to try to give you a really nice view into that latch and how you're going to try to get that latch down. All right, let's make it happen. All right, so here we are on the inside of the Ford F150, and we're taking a look at the back seat. Now what you're going to notice, I'm going to try to get you the best shot I can here, is there's like this little kind of almost an insulation type thing that pushes back here that doesn't allow us to see down to where we need to get with a wrench. And so the way to do this is we're going to have to bring the bottom of the seat, right? And so underneath this seat here, and let me see if I can get you down here. Not sure how that's going to look, but there it is right there. Underneath that seat, and that's on the driver's side, is this little latch right here. And we're going to flick that latch and lift the seat up. And that's going to give us just enough space to get our hand down behind the back of the seat so that we can get a wrench down there and sort of pop the latch to get the seat to actually fold forward so we can get the Seven Sparta installed. So let me go ahead and do that, and we'll come back once I've got access into that latch area behind. So hold on one second and let's take a look. All right, so now with the seat up, you'll notice you can see right down in there, that is the little nub that we're trying to get to. And let me see if from the passenger side I can do this. And if I click it, you'll notice it disengages here from that bracket right there that's against, it's part of the body of the truck. And now, and I apologize, it's a little dark down there, but now you can see what's going on. So here was that little nub that I just basically pulled up to get this latch assembly to disengage from this clip. And now the seat's going to come all the way down. And the bottom seat went down as well, and that's fine. We only needed to lift the bottom seat up to provide enough clearance to get back to see that guy right there. Now I'm also going to talk about that clamp, or the bar right there, because when we go to put this thing back, we might have to shimmy that a little bit or bring it back down into a lower position in order to get it to clasp on there. But we're going to find out here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to have to switch sides now, definitely. And I'm going to move the camera onto that side. And there's those 2 Torx T30 Torx screws right there that we're going to be pulling out. And as you can see, this is why I had to get behind the seats to begin with. If I was to back out a little bit here, that's why I had to get behind those seats to begin with, was to get these Carhartt seat covers installed. And that is where this journey began. And here is where this journey is going to end, is right there. So let me jump on the other side of the truck and let's knock this out. All right, so here we are kind of right on top of the latch assembly. And I kind of pre-loosened these, boy. And let me tell you right now, these were really torqued in there. So clearly the factory had torqued these things in there. And I need to be really careful here because I'm balancing the camera with my thigh. And I do not want to lose any of these bolts here. And let's go ahead and get this one off here. And there we go. And this thing, man, I'm telling you, this was really cranked in there. It took everything I had to make sure that that I got that out of there. All right, so let's kind of straighten the camera out here. So here is kind of the latch assembly. You can see right here, where are we at? I'm looking and moving it through the camera. So right there is kind of like a little latch type thing that kind of clips in when you drop this in, so that you know you're in the right spot, in addition to the fact that, you know, you're going to be lined up here with the Torx T30 screws. So let's go ahead and bust out the Seven Sparta setup here. And so now let me kind of come back a little bit, and you can see that Torx screw set. So here's where we're going to have to figure out how we slide this down, because again, this is going to come over, or I should say under, the kit setup here, and it's going to allow us to sort of thread this through the top. And so let me again balance this, and I'm going to go ahead. We're going to thread this through the top right here. And once it gets threaded through, you'll notice I'm putting it through with kind of the sewn nub, or the sewn tab kind of here on the top. My hope is that it catches, so that way if it tries to go back through it, it can't. So let's go ahead, and you'll see here, we'll pull it through, and then hopefully, if I can get that through, there we go. And then hopefully, you know, this isn't going to fall back down. So again, what we did was we were trying to get this kind of hooked up right here, like that. That's what we're trying to do. But now what I need to do is I need to get this Sparta unit sort of inserted in here. And let me see, and this may be actually, I think the seat covers are definitely causing some issues here if I was to pop that off. And let me go ahead, and there we go. So once you pop it off, you'll see that the screw holes, they line up nicely right there. And it's going to be in this gap right over here that we are going to put this red pen. And you can see that there's a little play in here, right? And so you don't want to leave too much because you don't want this thing to come out, but you don't want it so tight that we can't pull it forward. All right, so let me see if I can find that clip and get that clip back in on the main mounting bracket. And looks like some of the liner stuff here is, there we go, it's kind of causing an issue. All right, so the Sparta is kind of matched up, and it's there, and you can see if I back out a little bit, you can see that kind of holds up here, and that's what I liked about it being a little bit longer. It's going to be a little bit easier to get a hold of. And then right there, I'm going to kind of bring this, there's a little play there. All right, so I think that's going to work. And so before we do anything here, I got to be really careful with these screws, because again, I'm balancing all this stuff on my leg, the camera gear anyway. All right, so let's grab that the Torx T30 screw. Let's kind of get that screw restarted. All right, so that screw's kind of going in there. And I'm just going to get it started, and then let me pull out of the way here, and let's get this other screw started in here. And again, very careful not to lose these. In fact, I'm going to pull this up totally out of the way here so I can try to get this started, because I do not want to have this screw go underneath any of this lining. All right, so there we go. All right, so the Torx T30 screws are going down. And then here's where we're going to make some final adjustments here on the back side, right? And where we can kind of test things out to make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to do. And I apologize, camera's moving. Like I said, I'm got a tripod mounted on my knee or on my thigh here, trying to keep it steady. So on the back side, it doesn't look like that's going to work its way out at all. And so I'm kind of happy with where we're at here, because again, if I lift you up, you can see that we've got a pretty snug fit there. And if I needed to slide that Seven Sparta forward or backwards, see if I slide it, it actually slides a little bit, and I can bring it, see how it's kind of still moving like this. So if I push it out further, I think I'm going to leave myself too big of a gap here. And so I'm going to bring it in as tight as I can bring it in. And then I'm going to go ahead and let's really kind of torque these down now here and get this into sort of final position. So let me pull that out of the way, give you guys a better shot here. All right, so it's definitely down there. And now the last screw, and amazing, if you guys have seen me do other videos, you know that I've lost about 100 screws probably. All right, so there we go. Now let's go ahead and give it the final test here, which is we'll put the latch down like that, and then let's see. Take a look at that. So again, I'm just pushing right here. And actually, that's going to hurt my finger. There we go. See, I'm pushing right here on that piece and that little tooth area there, and then I kind of put it in a lock position, and then we check out our 7 Sparta, and everything looks good. What do you think? Yeah, again, and like I said, you know, the BuiltRight was a nice unit. Strap was shorter than the 7 Sparta strap, and it was definitely not metal, you know, / aluminum like the 7 Sparta, at least the one that I received. Again, it's possible that I ordered the wrong one, but I thought that it was going to be the anodized aluminum one, and then we should not have an issue with this strap getting pulled back through here. It should not happen. And so that's where that should be. So let me go ahead and, you know, and these are, I think it's called artesian or artesian, amartesian. So this amartesian, boy, I'm telling you, this Torx screw set has been worth its weight in gold. Again, not sponsored. I, you know, found them on Amazon. I've got affiliate links for everything down below. But the 7 Sparta kit, man, I got to tell you, absolutely love it. Give it one more test here. Okay. Looks good. And so now we've got to deal with this. And I'm going to put the seat back up there, and let's see if I can get it to push down. And I may have to, trying to remember how I did this initially. So hold on just one second. Let me see if I can get this to sit down where it's supposed to be. Yeah, I was being too gentle with it. So I just had to hammer it back in there. And then as soon as I did that, I realized that my strap actually disappeared down here behind the seat. I was so wrapped into trying to get it back up against the wall there. Let's see if I can get my hand down here, and let's see if this extra long strap actually comes into play. And what I may have to do here is, again, lift up the bottom seat, and let's bring that strap up like that, and then I'll drop the seat down. There we go. And so it's in there, and let's see if I can get it to come down now. If I just simply pull up on this strap here, and there we go, right? That's simple. So let's put it back. There we go. It's definitely, you can see I'm pulling on it really hard. It's definitely in there, locked in. So then I've got the strap right here. Pull up on the strap. Whoops, pull up on the strap, and there we go. All right. Let's get that back in there. Oops, should probably let go of the strap a little. All right, so there we go. Back seat in place, and as you can see, that was the concern with that shorter strap, is that, I mean, that's a longer strap and it's just barely hanging right there. So the concern with a shorter strap is you may not be able to grab that strap as easily as you think. But that's it. So that's going to do it for this video. Let's go ahead and take it back in the garage real quick and close things out. All right, well, that is going to wrap up the install portion of the rear seat release kits. And so again, I hope you enjoyed the bake-off and the close-ups and all the work that was done there to show you the differences and the similarities between these 3 kits that I evaluated. So first was the Sportfish, and again, this looks like maybe you could have made it in your garage. Not very impressed. No instructions, literally just came in the box like that. But again, you know, in all fairness, if you're looking for one of these things, you probably know exactly how you're going to install it, right? So I've got that kit right there. I went with the 7 Sparta, right? As you guys saw in the video, very happy, really like the extra long, I should say just longer strap. It was longer than the BuiltRight Industries, and I just felt that the mounting bracket on this was definitely a little sturdier than the BuiltRight Industries. And the big difference, again, the BuiltRight Industries, it's like a plastic tab that they put on the end of it. And the price of this was almost double the 7 Sparta. Again, I'm going to go ahead and put the prices in the description below, and there should have been some sort of a little call out box in the video that had the prices in there as of today. But you're lucky for stopping by today, because here's the deal. I've got a brand new unopened 7 Sparta F150, Ford F150 rear seat kit that I will send you. If you're the first one to comment and say, hey, I want this one, we'll coordinate it. I'll give you my email address. You can send me an email, and I will ship this thing out to you on, well, it's probably not going to be Monday because that's tax day, and I'm not going to the post office on tax day. So it'll ship out next week, let's say that. If you want the BuiltRight Industries one, I'll be more than happy to send you that one. And if you're really feeling dangerous, and you want the Sportfish rear seat release kit, I will repackage this because the box it came in was just terrible, and I will get that sent out to you. Again, I purchased all this stuff on my own. I have no skin in the game here with any of these different manufacturers. This is just me doing some research, taking a look at the different kits, and then trying to make a determination which kit was probably going to be the best fit for me. And again, it all came down to the fact that the Sparta was just, it looked better, looked sturdier. The longer strap definitely helped, as you saw in the video, so that it kind of sticks up behind the seat. And it's easier to get to, and I really like that hard die cast or, you know, aluminum, whatever it was, or anodized aluminum on the end. Very heavy, very sturdy, and it's definitely gonna last for a long time. All right, again, as always, I really appreciate your time. I hope I earned the privilege of your time in this video, and like I say, enjoy the chase. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video.